Hello students and welcome to this part 2 video of the chapter earthquake. In the previous part 1 chapter of the chapter earthquake, we have studied what are earthquakes and what are the possible damaging effects of the earthquake and what are the different causes of earthquake. The cause of an earthquake is when the lithospheric plates, they get interlocked with each other when they are sliding past over each other. During that time, when the force or the tension which is developed between those plates, it is released, then that tension is released, that will lead to the various tremors, and that is called an earthquake. Now related to that, if we are talking about that the force or the tension is released between the lithospheric plates which are deep inside the earth crust, then the point where the force or the tension it is released, that point beneath the earth surface deep inside the earth crust, that point is called focus. So what is focus? It is the original point deep inside the earth crust from where the earthquake gets generated. That means that point where the energy of the earthquake it is released, that is called focus. From this focus, directly above this focus, on the surface of the earth, that means above the surface of the earth, the point where the tension was released at focus, directly above that point, that is called the epicenter. So epicenter lies on the surface of the earth, whereas the focus it lies in the surface in the earth's crust. So this is focus and epicenter. Now we have to talk about that is there any method by which the earthquake can be predicted? No. Geologists, they cannot predict the earthquake, that the earthquake or the possible time or the place where the earthquake can happen. Geologists, they cannot predict that all these things. But obviously the local peoples, they adopt some common methods for the prediction of the earthquake, like if they observe that there is sudden change in the behavior of birds and animals, or if the fishes in the pond or in the river, they are suddenly agitated, the skies they appears to be silent, then they predict that there can be possibly an earthquake. There is probably one instrument which is called seismometer, which can detect the source of the seismic waves from where they are released. So seismometer is a device which can predict from where the earthquake is released, from where the seismic waves they are released. To measure an earthquake, like if we want to scale an earthquake, whether it was small earthquake or it was a big earthquake, to measure that, there is a scale which is called Richter scale, which is named after Dr. Charles F. Richter. This is the scale which is used to measure the strength of an earthquake. So Richter scale, it is used to measure the strength of an earthquake, and there are two characteristics of these Richter scales. One characteristic is that this is not a simple linear scale. Richter scale is not a simple linear scale, and on this scale, if there is increase in the value of 2, then the increase in the value of 2, that means it will lead to the 100 times more destructive energy. That refers to that if there is increase in the value of 3 in the magnitude on the Richter scale, it will lead to 1000 times more destructive energy. So these are the two characteristics of the Richter scale. Then what are the different values on the Richter scale which will signify how much destruction can be caused by that? If we refer to the value 2.5 on the Richter scale, this is generally not recorded on seismometer. That means if the earthquake, the value on the Richter scale of the earthquake is 2.5 or less, that cannot be detected on the seismometer and generally not felt by anyone. 3.5 means that it can be felt by many people. 4.5, some local damage, like there can be cracks in the buildings and obviously in the dams it can happen. Then 6, it is a destructive quake. 7 means a major destructive quake. and 8 and above, that is quite a high value on the Richter scale, which means a highly destructive quake, and it is capable of destroying an entire population. So that means the 8 and above, it is quite a high it is scaled quite a high destructive earthquake. After this measurement on the Richter scale, we need to have some protection, some rules, some regulations need to be designed to protect ourselves from the earthquake. Suppose if we are living in an area where the earthquakes are more oftenly they are observed, then in those areas the architects, they have to design the buildings in such a way that they have to take care that during the earthquake there should not be much damage to the buildings, and therefore there will be less damage to the life and property over there. So the first thing what protection can against earthquake can be done is that all the buildings in the seismic zone should be designed in a way that they are quake safe, and so that they can withstand the major tremors. Like if you must have observed in all the Japanese cartoons like Doraemon, etc., which whose origin is like Japan. Japan is very quake prone country. So over there you must have observed that all the buildings, they are not made up of brick, they are wooden. All the houses over there, they are wooden, and all the furniture over there, they do not use the tall furniture. They use the beds are also not over there, they lie the cushions on the floor only. They eat and drink, they don't have the dining tables, they eat and drink on the floor only. So that means these are all the specifications, because they know that any day of the time, any time the earthquake may happen. So that's why, to avoid any loss to their property and to their life also, what they do, that they make the quake safe buildings. The next can be that there should be firefighting equipment in the building, which is very necessary, because during an earthquake there can be an accident by which the building may catch fire. So to protect against that, which can cause more damage, so to protect against that, there should be a firefighting equipments. There inside the building, the safer places, and outside also the safer places must be clearly identified. There should be an emergency communication and exit plan which should be available with everyone. The disaster management supplies like flashlights, that means torches, first aid box, etc., should be available in hand. The safety precautions which we can take during an earthquake are like, for a person, if you are inside a building, if you are present inside a building, then what you can do, there are three things: drop, cover your head, right? So what you can do is you have to drop and you have to cover your head. So if you are inside a building, what you can do, you can take shelter under a table and stay there, and till the shaking stops. So you have to drop yourself under the table, you have to hold it from the legs, and then you have to cover your head also. Stay away, you have to stay away from the tall and heavy objects that may fall upon you. You don't if you are on a bed, then you don't have to get up from the bed, you have to protect your head with the pillows, and you have to obviously stay inside till the shaking stops. And when you feel that it is now safe to come out, then only you should come out, because generally the major injuries, they happen when the people, they start rushing outside the building, and during that rush only there is a chance of more injuries. So these are the precautions what a person can take when you are caught inside the building. And there are many drills which are carried on in schools also, in which you are taught how you have to react during the earthquake. When you are caught outside in the open and there is an earthquake, then you have to find a clear spot away from the buildings, trees, bridges, and overhead power lines, and you have to drop to the ground. You don't have to come outside your vehicle. If you are traveling in a vehicle, you don't have to come outside it. You have to drive slowly to a clear spot and stay inside. Come out only when the tremors stop. These were the various precautions which you have to take during an earthquake. But after the earthquake, what you can do, the first thing is that you have to calm down yourself, because there can be, or there are expectations then that there may be aftershocks. So you have to, which can cause additional damage. So for that purpose, you have to first stay calm. Then beware of a possible tsunami if you are living in a coastal area. Carefully inspect all the utilities or supplies which are left after the earthquake damage and collect them. Use telephone only in emergency, and you have to stay away from the damaged areas and obviously help the injured ones. So this is all about the earthquake which we have to study. Stay safe and remain healthy and be happy. Thank you.